this is the general interface, so to speak. And for the guy who was asking in the comments of my YouTube, this is how you turn on the green lines or the grid, so to speak. This is the button to do that. This crosshair kinda setting. Right, never mind. So our initial idea was, right, this is the process. This is the idea. So how are we supposed to go about it? The most obvious one is we can show this is much better. So if this is the Instagram composition, we can obviously show a balloon flying up to a spike of some sort. So when the balloon will be flying up, the spike should be coming down, but that should be delayed because there is a text. What was the text? A goal with no plan is just a wish. A goal with no plan is just a wish. So this is the idea. And this text is what I was saying to be in the first frame. This is the first frame, and let's assume this to be the second frame. So this is the thumbnail area, so somewhere around this way, and it pops. Then what can we do about it? So this is the second frame. So if this is going to be passing anyway, we can let this drop down into the screen for the third scene frame. So the third scene could be something like this is the grid, bottom grid. This is the spike, down, I guess, moving down. Is the spikes would go out of the screen, and a balloon should parallax from this side. So this will zoom in towards the screen. Sure, that makes sense. And this will loop into this guy. Yeah. So that is the general storyboard.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So that is the rough idea. Now on to getting the assets for the animation. What looks good, what does not look good. It is a normal balloon, right? It won't matter as much. This one's cool. We'll stick with this. And we need a spike vector. Spike trap vector. This is the related image. This could be good. This is good. This is good. I like this. Spike is in the center, and these guys can go in the back. I like this. Yep. And is there anything else that we'll be needing? A string? No. That's it. No, I'm importing this just to get a reference for what we are going to be animating. I know there are multiple ways we can go about this, but this is how I usually do things. So the spikes are now gone. This is here. We can invert this so that we only get the balloon. This as a guideline for not crossing the. I'll most probably try to be inside here for the main climax. And this is the area that we hopefully should be animating within. So this is on the fly. Now I would be using this much, but this is what I usually work with in my mind, not using guidelines, because when I try to move the subject to a certain place, it snaps, and even when I turn this off, it snaps and it irritates. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, never mind. So this is my pet peeve. I do not like it. I'll screenshot this if you want, and you know what? Never mind. I'll disable this. Ah, hacks, bro, hacks. So our main idea was to show this 180. Yeah. So this coming down along these lines. I'm trying to scale it down so that it matches the edges, and we'll be able to create a, what do you call it, a shape for this layer, the spike layer and the balloon layer as well. This is the main idea. The balloon will be here, somewhere around here. I'll scale it down so that it matches the frame size, and you will be here. A goal with no plan is just a wish. So we want the balloon to kind of explode. So we want it to be on top, my friend, because you are a PNG and you will explode. See, that is why I hate this. I added an A here so that I can perfectly match the spacing between the characters, so to speak. Delete that. Add this so that it moves together. This is parenting. The pick is blue wire and parent, so that this now becomes his child. It is sort of adoption, so to speak. You can do it with whoever you want, to be honest. Right, never mind, jokes aside. We'll separate these dimensions so that we get control over this. So my initial plan is to get a reference of how we will see things to be like. We will set it around 130 to be on the screen, and boy my friend, I keyframe the Y position and save the first position, which was what we got from clicking this symbol, the clockwise symbol. Now I moved it outside the screen, but as you can see, it looks very basic. Right, now we are going to change that. We'll be going into the graph editor. Usually when you open the graph editor, this is what you'll see. I was as well. Why I do not see the graph? I was referring to a YouTube video when I was doing this. My problem at that time was I did not select the keyframes that I wanted to animate. So this time I'll select the keyframe, and here we are. So this is the Y property. The red line is going to be the X property. We can add keyframes onto the X property if we want by holding control on my key. I'm holding control on my keyboard, and this is how we can animate in the graph editor as well, if that is something you are comfortable with. Now on to animating. So what I did here was to, this curve sort of explains how things are going to move across the X and Y axis. So the green line, as we discussed earlier, was the Y axis. Now it is going from minus 51.38 or minus 51.4 to 610.6, right? Now these values are changing at an exponential scale because I have reduced the time it spends on the y-axis at that particular time. So if we consider this to be our timeline and this to be our speed, what we are doing is adjusting the speed based upon the time it spends on the timeline, if that makes sense. Alright, so at this time the balloon should be around somewhere around here. So where is balloon? I am going to draw you, my friend. The center of the screen should be around here. I'll be drawing a circle. So I'm thinking this to be the, what do you call it? I have an idea. What if I convert this to Bezier and select the path? Voila! We have a balloon. Alright, balloon circle becomes balloon base. Now balloon base is going to be attached to a thread which is sort of going to be add a white stroke to it so that we can see what we are doing. It is sort of like an infinity sign. Now Thanos would be proud. Oh, never mind. Get this and attach it to this so that we get I swear, why is this so hard to explain, man? We get a mask of some sort. Balloon base should be on top, and now I am going to be setting a track mat for this so that it only shows up inside this mask. Now if I move this is going to move as well. Now on to animating the thread. So what I'll be doing is deselect all the layers and draw a straight line. It doesn't matter. I can change the path. So this is the string. Before we forget, let me label everything ink because I do not know why. Yes sir. Now white. This looks good. Now on to animating. We'll be keeping the stroke to white so that we can see what we are doing, and now I'll be adding a null object. Oh, null object. Yes sir. And moving it here so that it lands on the base. So now the screenshot may go. In position, you are now linked to here and you are linked to the balloon, so that when this moves or changes, you change as well, my friend. Okay, you go to balloon as well. So everything is now connected to this. If we want to move anything, we just add a new null layer on top, parent the balloon to it, and we can do wonders, right? That was an extreme example, but you get the idea. No string is going to be straight, right? There is going to be some form of resistance or draft, air draft. So to do that, I'm going to be adding pin strokes or what, puppet pins. Yeah, puppet pins on this layer here. Mesh should location definement. I do not have any idea how this works. I'm jumping it. Never mind, bruh. This is going to be our first one, second one, and the third. Right. Now the puppet mesh. By no means that this looks natural. I get it, but bruh, this is mind blowing, man. I'm trying this out for the first time myself. I'm not concerned with how it is looking right now because we can add the final touches later. So my main plan was to cut down sort of the first scene to, so to speak, this scene. We are now animating it. Let me change colors. Okay, so this is where it drops. I can transition, like you mentioned, this block is going to be animated. So if this is here, like I have drawn here, so now I'm trying to place the balloon here first and figure out this later. be honest, I was thinking how the can I manage the puppet pin, but now that I look at it, I think it won't matter, to be honest. Cool with no plan, and that is where this is where we want the spikes to hit. And that won't transition, right? So what I will do instead is create a bigger square so that it covers the entirety of the screen. Not the entirety of the screen, but you get the idea. I'll delete this, create a new one. See, that is why this, you know what? I'll just double click. This is what I've learned very recently. I had no idea about this. See, now we only have to draw the spikes, which is pretty simple, to be honest. So this is the shape. We'll parent this to this. And now the duplication starts. We want wait, why am I doing this to you? Stay. Spikes and base underscore spikes. Now these are dangerous, so we'll be assigning ping to them. Cause why not, right? just outside the boundary or the stroke, boundary of the stroke. I am looking at this black box. As soon as it disappears, I know I have it. Spikes are done.